3, it is Ferran Torres.
Aguero! The goal is given. It's Paolo One-Chop.
It's a curling effort into the net. Cross in and Sterling.
It's another Turf Moor hat-trick for Shaun.
We go again on our midweek edition of We're Not Really Here with a chasing pack on our tails. This is another must-win game for Manchester City at Turf Moor. Now, Burnley have previous this season after already taking Premier League scalps at Anfield and Stamford Bridge. Sean Dyche's side will be looking for another upset this evening. But the boys in blue, they'll be hoping to ensure that that does not happen, making Turf Moor their happy place. Right, hello, welcome to We're Not Really Here. My name is Kyle Walker. Manchester City take on Burnley at Turf Moor, another away game. It is must win, and I'm not going to lie, I am very, very nervous. But to calm my nerves, I'm joined by two guests, Stephen Mcinerney and also Shaun as well. Stephen, I'll start with you. How are you feeling about tonight?
The same as you, mate. A little bit nervous. I don't know what it is about Burnley, but they scare you, don't they, Burnley, for some reason? I mean, I think it's a combination of Sean Dyche's team being ultra physical and aggressive and just there, always there and always giving you a tough game. And the fact that we've won so many games recently, you can't help but feel this typical City mentality going, maybe this could be the one that kind of slips us up. But at the same time, I'm confident because, you know, the side, it's a strong side we've got lined up. We've obviously got that incredible defensive partnership. We've got Joao Cancelo, we've got Ilkay Gundogan, we've got a team that's banging confidence. So nervous, but that's being a City fan, isn't it, really? So that's literally it. Come on, City, come on, City.
Sean, I always look to you to be my ray of positivity. How are you feeling about tonight?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling. Listen, I know Sean Dyche. I have him on WhatsApp. I don't communicate when City play Burnley. I don't communicate. I think that nerves will come because, you know, Burnley always put City, you know, whoever they play, they make a game of it because their guys are solid and strong and they make a game of it. But with our recent history with Burnley, I'm going big. So I feel confident about today and I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, let's get into the team news, all right. Manchester City travelling to Turf Moor, as I've said, and this is how Manchester City do line up, all right. You mentioned a couple of names, Stephen, but Ederson in goal, Joao Cancelo, John Stones and Ruben Diaz as our centre-back partnership, Aymeric Laporte, Rodrigo, Ilkay Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. And on the bench, it's Zach Stefan, Kyle Walker, Alexander Zinchenko, Ferran Torres, Benjamin Mendy, Fernandinho, Phil Foden, Eric Garcia and Claudio Gomez as well. Stephen, how are you feeling about that? I mean, John Stones and Ruben Diaz.
That is one solid looking side, isn't it? You got Laporte at left back as well. I mean, it strikes me as almost prepping for the Liverpool game potentially, but that is a side that I'm happy with, to be honest, man. I'm really happy with it. I had a feeling Foden might actually sit this one out today as a rest ahead of the Liverpool game as well. But that, you look at that team, it's all confident players that are doing very, very special things at the moment. So you can't really not feel confident when you see Gundogan alongside, you know, Bernardo. This is a big chance at the moment. We know, obviously, no Kevin De Bruyne, but we know he can step up. We know he can be brilliant. He's done it before. So I've got no reason to suspect that this team won't be ultra focused. You can't see many chances conceded either. Fingers crossed, touch wood, and every other caveat I can add there. But with Cancelo bobbing forward again, Stones, Diaz, Laporte, that's a really organised side. It's a focused side, and it's just a good team, man. It's a good team.
Sean, it's very difficult to predict who Pep is going to play week in, week out, from game to game.
Yes.
What do you make of that front three? Mahrez, Sterling, Jesus.
Yeah, it's listen, it's quality, you know, and that's the thing is, and when he rotates and have players, you know, come in or whether they're rested, whichever way he looks at it, there's absolute quality. I mean, Mahrez, he excites me because he's a player that, again, he gets the ball and you know he wants to go on his left, but when he goes on his left, you're not quite sure. So his quality that he delivers in that final third with the crosses and being able to penetrate defenses. You know, Sterling, we know what Sterling's about, driving forward and upsetting defenses. I'm excited when I look at that front line.
Now, when we are thinking of this stage of the season, the business end of the season, it's a crucial game tonight for City.
Yes, it is. Been on a nice little run, having some clean sheets and scoring goals. The creativity is there. It's a vital game because Burnley, if I'm Sean Dyche and I'm sat in that dressing room, Sean Dyche is saying, aren't you tired of being your whipping boys? Aren't you tired of losing to City? So I think it's going to be that sort of talk that Burnley or Sean Dyche would give to Burnley to make sure that they show up. But City will be aware, and City will be looking to put on another good performance.
Ruben Diaz and John Stones, they formed this partnership over this season. How do you feel as a Manchester City fan seeing John Stones back in the side?
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. I mean, like, that partnership, there's something special there, isn't there? It feels different, that partnership, mainly because you can sense this, like, genuine bond between them as actual people, never mind just players. Like, the little bromance hugs and all that kind of stuff, clearly embrace each other after every single little moment together. It's great. I mean, obviously John Stones as well, I don't know if redemption's a fair word, but I think at some point, unfortunately, due to injuries and a slight lack of form at times, obviously we all knew he was quality, but none of us expected to come into this season him be first choice. We thought it might be Laporte or something like that. I can only speak as a City fan, of course, but it's fantastic because we're seeing this guy that we all knew had this ability finally find that conviction in his own form and finally find someone that kind of gets him alongside him. And you have to give Stones the credit himself, man. So many people could have come off a season where often at times he was behind Wnrh, behind Garcia, behind Mendy, and so many people could have come out of that and maybe asked for a move or gone elsewhere, but he's just basically it's the cliche, but he's really worked hard, found this partnership alongside Diaz, and he's been absolutely sensational to the point where I feel sorry for Laporte. He's done nothing wrong, Laporte, but all of a sudden, I mean, what can you do if you're Pep? You can't drop either of Stones or Diaz at the moment, so I guess that's why Laporte's at left back today, but yeah, Stones, he's such a nice lad. It's what you want to see. You want to see the good people succeed, and he is doing that.
Now, great result back in November when these two sides met. 5-0 to Manchester City at the Etihad. I mean, Shaun, we can see the goals just here. I mean, it makes it look easy.
Well, again, that's that magical left foot that Mahrez has. But again, I think it's just important to open up Burnley and get that first goal. Here we're seeing again the replay goals. They got switched off. This goal here in particular.
Beautiful,
Burnley, I mean, it's beautiful for us, but they'll be really upset because it's a quick throw behind the defense, and Mahrez does what he does. So, again, but this is where City has switched on. City has switched on looking at situations that we don't want to allow him to get set up. Why not have a quick throw? And then when you got De Bruyne in that magical area, anything's possible in terms of what he can produce in terms of assisting. And Mendy with a finish that I would be proud of because, I mean, on the angle, side foot, good contact, Here we got the overlapping run. You can't stop Walker there. Little pullback. This little interplay. And that was Torres. But yes, Torres. So, everybody getting involved in the goals. Jesus, in that particular one, they're setting up. He'll be one that will be looking to get on the score sheet, I'm sure, today. But, again, a lot of games he's sacrificed himself. So hopefully he can get himself one or two opportunities and stick him away.
5-0 at the Etihad when Manchester City last played against Burnley, and hopefully this evening there'll be more of that. We're hoping for plenty of goals. Sean Dyche's men, though, they're hoping to stop Manchester City. Lots of stats and facts can go around about this fixture, but I've got one which I quite like, something that's quite special. The last 7 fixtures of Manchester City taking on Burnley, this is how they've ended. 28 goals to Manchester City, 1 goal conceded right there. Stephen, I mean, it's not going to be easy, but when you put facts like that, it's quite exciting.
It's weird, isn't it? Because all stats and all logic suggest that this game should be eminently winnable for Manchester City, but you can't help but feel. But what if it doesn't? I mean, our form against Burnley is really, really good. Obviously, we know Burnley are a cracking side, given perspective and all that kind of stuff. They are where they are in terms of being around the Premier League and getting the plaudits that Dyche has got for a reason. They're organised, they're focused, and they make do with little resources compared to some clubs. But yeah, that run of wins. It's impressive. We can't deny the fact that we are just absolutely huge favourites for this game, and it must be. It can't be good for Burnley either, to be honest, knowing that they come into this game and usually lose it. They must be struggle knowing that obviously their backs against the wall straight away, and all the omens suggest City going to win it. But why am I still down it for some reason? It's life as a Manchester City fan. But it does reassure you that every single time you think, oh, it's Burnley, it's going to be tough, that usually this team. The thing is about this team is as hard as Burnley work, City work just as hard. And when you work that hard, and it's that whole talent, that saying of like, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. This team has both, that incredible desire and that incredible technical ability. So that's what always kind of gets me through those moments of doubt. Like, well, we get it right because we got Pep Guardiola and we know what we're doing. So why not today as well?
Manchester City actually have that quote up on the wall at the indoor pitch. Let's talk about Sean Dyche, though. Interesting manager. When we are looking at what he's managed to do with this Burnley team, I mean, Shaun, over the years, what he's managed to achieve in the Premier League has been great. What do you make of him as a manager?
Yeah, I think Sean Dyche has done exceptionally well. I mean, with the shoestring budget that he has to produce and work with, he always seems to manage for Burnley to stay sort of above that area. So, and it was a couple of seasons ago where he actually done that well. He was, was talking about can they get into the top four. He was having that well a season. So Sean Dyche will continue to do well because, again, he brings in players that are workmanlike, that understand, this is the DNA of the club and how he wants to operate. And if you can't, then he wouldn't bring players in.
So when we're looking at Burnley as a club, if there was a takeover that was to happen with them, maybe, do you think that he'd be able to perform better, possibly, with more money? Or do you think he's just a very smart man with the money?
Well, listen, why not? I mean, it's easy to sit and complicate it and say, well, okay, if you have money, then you can go on, buy players. But not everyone that buys players has success. So it's easy to just say, have money. I think Sean Dyche will stick to his guns in terms of his philosophy, and he'll try to add one or two sprinkling of quality players that can go on and create a bit of magic, something in around the final third. And I think, but his real philosophy is being solid, being able to score on the counter-attack will be what his teams will be about.
Now let's talk about Turf Moor, Stephen, because it's a nice little compact stadium to go to.
I love Turf Moor. I remember away day there a few years back. I think we won 2-1. Guerrero got a couple there. I love it. It's an old school ground. There's elements of the main road feel to it as well, isn't there? And I love those kind of old fashioned grounds where obviously it's a shame the fans aren't there because I guess that's half of what makes games like that so intimidating in the first place, that kind of atmosphere. But it's a proper stadium. It's a proper stadium. Not that this isn't, of course. It's a beautiful stadium that we're in now. But you know what I mean by that? It's an old school throwback, and I think the players probably love it too. I reckon Guardiola will probably love it because Guardiola has that humble nature anyway. And there's a reason it's tough to go there. I mean, it's chilly up in Burnley. It's always wet and miserable up in the northwest. And go on, Shaun.
Well, I think Sean Dyche wants the players to represent Burnley, and be a reflection of Burnley. And Burnley are working class, get stuck in, and this is what they want their players. So this is why whenever I see Burnley play, whether they're playing great, bad, or indifferent, they work you as a team. And I think that's the requirement that he wants from his players. I want you to go out there and make sure they know they've been in the game.
Do you think Burnley would even be who they are without the stadium? This area, it defines who they are, doesn't it, really? Is an element that even that more money would complicate who Burnley are, and maybe they lose a little bit of what makes them so plucky and the kind of like underdogs in this league. So I do wonder if it's a perfect storm for Burnley in the best possible way, because as Shaun just said, that it's their identity, their community. They have those obviously very strong ties to that local region. And I do think that's part of what makes them so hard to play against. It is the stadium, it is the weather there, it is the local fans, and it is that kind of hostile environment.
Now it's a cold, wet Wednesday evening against Burnley. It's not going to be easy.
No, it is not. I'm trying to think. They have a slogan, and it was through Dyche. It was something like heart, lungs, and legs. I think is their sort of slogan that they have in and around their training ground. And again, because he wants his players to have the simple things. If you come in with quality, obviously we hope you're going to have quality, and you are got quality. But these are the basic things. So whenever we go out and play, whether it's Man City or whoever it is, go out there and give everything. So again, we anticipate a difficult game. For me, I anticipate City just getting the breakthrough. Once we get the breakthrough, I think then the floodgates could open. But it's important from Burnley's point of view is keeping solid and try to keep a clean sheet for as long as possible.
Now, I did mention before that the last 7 fixtures, 28 goals, all right. In those, 4-5-0 victories against them. But Stephen, it feels like there's this unfounded assumption that Manchester City struggle against Burnley.
Where does it come from, man? I mean, I think it in the back of my head as well when all logic kind of goes against that. But I think everyone is scared of Burnley a little bit. I think it's just something about Burnley, and to be fair, that's down to Shaun as well. They created this kind of mythology around them. It's not really a mythology because it kind of is true, but they are hard to play against. They are a team that no one looks at Burnley, especially during the winter months, goes, "Oh, fancy that," do they? No one wants it. You don't want that. You want Burnley when the weather's a bit nicer, maybe the August or September. You want them at home, but the stats do show that we're good at it. And once again, it comes back to that work rate thing. City do work incredibly hard, and Guardiola, we know Guardiola, like he's so neurotic. He pays attention to every single little detail, and he'll be studying Burnley just as aggressively as he studies Liverpool or anyone else in the Champions League. And I think that's a large part of our success because he's prepared. He doesn't take them lightly, and some people may do that.
One of those 5-0 victories came on the 22nd of June, just after Project Restart. We can see those goals right here. Shaun, what do you make of this finish?
Wow. Is that Bernardo? Mahrez. How could I get them mixed up? Listen, it's just talent. I mean, you know he wants to go left, and when you do, you overcompensate. He'll go right, and he'll do exactly that. That is pure quality. I mean, I'm excited because we're blessed to see these players go out and produce this sort of level and quality. And make no mistake, it's going to be a tough one today. But these guys play at such a high level. And City got to be switched on because Burnley will try. They'll leave very little spaces for City to be able to attack. So. City's going to have to be on the game as well.
As well, Riyad, I think he's got 8 goals against Burnley now as well. Obviously, a hat-trick early in the season, 2 in this game, and I remember he scored 2 as well. Away at Burnley, where Rodri scored a thunderbolt as well. He does well against Burnley for whatever reason. You wouldn't think Mahrez, of all his style, good against Burnley, but he is. It's like a bit of a contradiction because he's such a sulky player, but he's good in games like this. And I don't know really why, but I don't think it's a surprise that Pep started today because he's just proving constantly, time after time, that he scores goals against his side.
Right, let's hear from one man who's included in that starting 11 this evening. It's Wnrh Laporte, and these are his thoughts ahead of that game against Burnley.
Hi, Mark. Manchester City were 13th in the table the last time we faced Burnley back in November. How different is this Manchester City team we see compared to the early stages of the season?
I don't know what we changed. The only one thing we have done is winning every single game, try to win every single game, and is what we have done the last 12 games. So we're happy with that, and we will try to keep on this way, in this way.
Defensively, the record must be pretty satisfying. Has that been key to the consistency, do you think? And how impressive has that record been?
Yeah, of course, it's very important as well when you score. If you don't score, you will not win. So we have to keep this rhythm, to keep not conceding many goals, and try to score more goals than we concede. So yeah, that is good.
Personally, I know it's perhaps a frustrating start for you with COVID, and you've had to be patient for your chances, perhaps not played as much as you wanted. What's the season been like for you?
I don't know. At the moment I'm here. I will play today, so we will see what happens. I'm happy at Manchester City. I always thought I will spend many years here, and I hope that can happen. We will see from now to the end of the season what will happen, but I'm happy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Wnrh Laporte there, speaking ahead of that game against Burnley at Turf Moor this evening. Stephen, what have you made of Wnrh Laporte this season?
It's been difficult for him, hasn't it? I think some people maybe said he didn't have the best game against Spurs, and that game felt like a kind of turning point. He didn't do anything particularly wrong. That game was just one of those things where it was like an early season rustiness kind of thing. But he's been a little bit, I guess, unlucky that Stones and Diaz have been that brilliant. I mean, sometimes, and you probably know how it feels as an ex-pro as well, I guess sometimes if your form is that good, your manager can't not pick you. And for those two, Diaz and Stones, they've just got on so well. And I felt a little bit sorry for Laporte, I guess, in a way, because he's been so brilliant for City over the past past, this past period of success under Guardiola. But I think, to be honest, it's kind of on him now, isn't it, really? It's on him. If he wants to get back in the team, as all professionals do, and obviously we know he takes his football incredibly seriously, he's just going to have to buck down, and work really hard, which obviously he will do, and hope for an opportunity. And I'm sure when he gets it, he'll be brilliant, because he's Aymeric Laporte, and he is brilliant. We know he's a fantastic player. But I don't think he's done anything particularly wrong. He's been in my personal opinion, a good 7, 8 out of 10, but those two have been 10s, so what can you say when that happens? But that's football. I remember when Gabriel Jesus came and all of a sudden Aguero was on the bench briefly. That was Sergio was on the bench. So at some point, you're going to have to sit on the bench a little bit, but it's then about your reaction. And obviously we know he'll react perfectly well. So,
Shaun, how difficult is it as a pro when you're stuck out of the team? You're not getting into it. You can't make that starting 11. There's a duo up top who's keeping you out of it. What goes through your mind?
Well, you just keep yourself ticking over. You keep yourself ready. So when that opportunity comes, you are able to perform, and that you perform that 8, 9, or 10 out of 10 sort of performance. And this is where it is for Laporte. He has to just, as Stephen said, just knuckle down, deliver the performances. Personally, I can see the three of them working, and the reason I could see them working, Laporte offers a quality diagonal pass. He's also a great defender, but he offers a great diagonal pass, 50-yard pass. So if a team is high pressing, Laporte can release that, and all of a sudden you got a one-on-one, and it's a counter-attack situation. You got Diaz, who's just a solid player. Standing up, he stands up, he makes attackers make mistakes. Reece game well, good leader. Stones, you're seeing now, is calm on the ball, can now take the ball forward, drive forward. So you got, although the whole quality, I can see how the three of them can work. So I think he's just got to get his head down, put in some solid performances, and because Pep does like to play three at the back. So I can see that being a real solid three, but Laporte's just got to put in some game time now and some solid performances.
Right, let's hear from the main man himself, Pep Guardiola. He's speaking ahead of tonight's game.
Pep, first and foremost, you want the win tonight, but do that and you claim another record. How big an achievement do you consider that to be, particularly in this season?
Barely. The only big achievement is win today.
How impressive has this run been for you?
It's good, but we don't play to every game to make runs or something like that. Always is a consequence to winning games, and your focus has to be always the next one.
You have that unparalleled level of consistency at the moment, but you always strive to be better. Where do you think this team can improve?
No team, all the teams can play better. We are not an exception of this. So, yeah, we can play more fluidly, defend better, set pieces, and attack better. So, especially adapt the quality of opponents, how they defend, how they attack, and settle quick. Like you don't have much time to training sessions to all the teams, and try to every game have specific things to do, and try to do it.
See Diaz, Stones and Laporte at the back for this one. It's a combination we've not seen start together this season. Why do you go for that combination in this particular game?
What we have done so far is because everyone makes his incredible contribution, and this is an exception. So you see the schedule in February, and you want to run away with this amount and tough games that we have. So everyone will be so important and necessary for the next month, what has done the previous month.
Burnley have achieved results against Liverpool, against Aston Villa recently. They have injuries tonight, but what have you made of their recent form?
The spirit that they have, the always a stick on the game. They have a special quality the way they play. We know each other quite well because since 4 or 5 years, Shaun and myself, we are both managers of this team. And what they do really well. So have to avoid his strength and try to use ours.
Thank you, Pep.
You're very welcome.
Pep Guardiola there ahead of tonight's game against Burnley at Turf Moor. Shaun Dyche versus Pep Guardiola. We've got to talk about Pep. Something you mentioned there, Stephen, about him. He's got that twinkle back.
Yeah, that kind of like that Pep. He's got a spark in his eye again, hasn't he? He looks like a man who's kind of, he just looks like he's loving his football, his side's football once again. You can see that intense focus and that intense desire to not rest on his laurels. And I love the fact that he was just trying to essentially rubbish that incredible January we've had saying, oh, we can be better. I love it because that's what, you think about the documentaries of Guardiola and behind the scenes during those kind of incredible seasons, the Centurion and the domestic Centurions and all the 4 trophy season as well. What's the tagline? Formidables. There we go. That's the one, man. Yeah.
Plus, we made it 5 with the media trophy. Just throwing that out there.
The important one. But basically, you think about that. You see the behind-the-scenes training ground footage, and he was always so demanding. Even when they're winning, he was always constantly like, "No, you've got to do more, and do more." And you get the massive sense at the moment that Guardiola has found that same desire again. You can see that he's onto something at the moment, and he loves it. And you can tell when someone like you, when they get a taste of something, they just push forward for it.
That coat as well. Oh, I'm going to keep on bringing up that coat until I can feel it on my skin, keeping me nice and warm.
Shaun, sort you out.
Yeah. Let's talk about that January. Pep did try to play it down a little bit, but all 9 competitive fixtures in January won, the most in the top 4 tiers of English football in a single month since the formation of the Football League in 1888. How impressive.
This is just impressive, and this is Pep Guardiola. He's such a perfectionist. I mean, he's done that interview there, and he's trying not to give away anything, but he's just giving loose snippets, and he's saying, talking about they can be better. He didn't mention clean sheets because they can't be any better than the clean sheets they've been keeping. It's just been amazing in how they keep clean sheets. But he's talking about things like set pieces, arriving in and around the final third at the right time. So again, he feels that there can be some improvement. But you talk about that month, it's been absolutely brilliant. And to manage that in terms of the rotation and get it right. This is unbelievable. This is really unbelievable what he's been able to do.
And especially as well, given the start of the season, which I think we'd all admit wasn't perfect and all that kind of stuff. And given the year as well, given the whole, what the world's going through at the moment, to have the year that we did and then to find that run of form and do something genuinely unprecedented at a time when no one would blame me if you drop points relatively regular at the moment. It's just special. It's genuinely special. I don't think sometimes any of us realise just how good we got it at the moment. Even when it's not perfect, it's still bloody brilliant. And at the moment, like Guardiola, he's got a team playing. It's just wonderful football, and it's just you're enjoying defending as well. I mean, people don't watch football usually for defending. Some people do, I'm sure. There's a few weirdos knocking about, but largely, we're enjoying watching Diaz and Stones' partnership blossom, and I absolutely love it. And I think I love how that Guardiola keeps ticking off all these records one by one. These little records that you didn't even know existed, and he's accomplishing it. It's so impressive.
And one man that he has helped, Shaun, Raheem Sterling, we can see him warming up just there. He's flourished under Pep Guardiola.
Yes, we're seeing that relationship just blossom. We're seeing back years ago where he's put his arm around him and after a game and winning a game 3-0 or 4-0 and I'd be going off the field thinking, I scored a couple goals, but Pep's got his arm around him and positioning him, saying, you open your body up, or you do this, and you could be more effective. And we're now starting to see a mature Raheem Sterling that's taking all that information. And you got to give credit to Raheem Sterling because, again, he has to take that. He has to be willing to take that information on and go on and execute it. So he's taking that knowledge on. And now Raheem Sterling is part of that conversation when you talk about world's best players and how effective he is. So well done to Raheem Sterling and Pep Guardiola.
I'm going to keep on talking about this January. We also moved from 8th to 1st in the Premier League.
Love it.
Qualified for the FA Cup 5th round and secured a spot in the club's 4th successive Carabao Cup final, beating our main rivals Manchester United as well.
Say that again, Kyle.
At Old Trafford as well. I'll just add that one in just there. I mean, it's been so impressive. All of these players, no matter if they're rotating or what, they still just seem to get the business done no matter what. And sometimes, Shaun, you've got to grind out those results.
Yeah, you got to grind them out, and that's the sign of a great team. And you can so go win a few games, 3-0, 5-0, and all this, but then you get the odd game where it's really tough, and that's the sign of sort of champions. And this team has been through it. They understand that sometimes it isn't a season where you just continuously win 3, 4, and 5 and more. Sometimes you just got to knuckle down and see a game through and win it 1-0. And Pep sees that at times. You're seeing times at games and you went, do you know what? It's the last 10 minutes, and he goes, I'm putting on another holding midfielder. We're going to seal up. This is the intelligence of Pep Guardiola, and understands it's about getting the wins and is a serial winner.
One of those tough games was against Sheffield United. Stephen, what did you make of that fixture?
Oh, it was tense, it was nervy, but it was kind of brilliant in its own unique way. Those kind of games, they make you feel alive, you know what I mean? Like that genuine euphoria when you get the goal that you've been really, really, really pushing for. It was wonderful. I loved it. I mean, once again, we have to give our Ferran Torres a lot of credit for the desire. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier about the hard work and a mix of a bit of ability. I mean, that was just pure. He wanted that ball. He wanted it, and then got the goal, obviously, for Gabriel Jesus. That game was so difficult. It was so difficult. I can almost guarantee that victory meant so much to those players compared to, say, the 5-0 against West Brom, because that is the game you really remember. That's the kind of game you really have to work to. And it's, once again, it's a cliche, but titles are quite literally built on games like this where you have to dig in. You have to find a little bit more, a little extra 10% and just force a goal. And it was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. So much composure, hard work, a battle, a proper game of football. Lovely stuff.
Now, looking at that chance from Zinchenko right there, Shaun, what did you make of his performance throughout the game?
Zinchenko, listen, I don't know if I can find criticism of any of your players because these guys are so consistent. But again, Zinchenko comes in and again, his performance in terms of on the ball, driving forward, when he steps into midfield, making the right decisions. And sometimes I look and I think, okay, he's up against a quick player today, and I think, okay, let's see what you're about. He makes the right decision at the right times. He's able to get that little toe poke when you think, the guy just got the better of him. But no, he gets a little toe poke, clears it out, deals with it. Another player that's just doing a brilliant job.
Now, it's the results like that is going to win you titles. What did Manchester City do that Manchester United couldn't do against Sheffield United?
We won, mate. We won. That's what we did. No, we showed that we've got a little bit. I don't think it's controversial. I think we've got a little bit more quality of them, but we've got I think we've got a bit more patience, to be honest. We've got a bit more experience at winning these kind of games. United have improved massively under Solskjaer. It pains me to say it, but I've got to admit it, unfortunately. But what they don't have is that Guardiola experience. They don't have this side. This side is so versed in how to win these games. They've seen it over the years. We've done it. I remember a game here, 2-1 against Southampton. I think it was last-minute Sterling winner. Yep. And those kind of games that we've got the experience of doing that now. So this side genuinely knows that if you keep pushing, keep knocking on the door, eventually we will get the victory. Whereas I don't think United personally have that same title winning experience in this current generation of players for them. They haven't got it. Obviously, they've got it in the past, and I can't deny that. But this team, I think it's built from a sterner stuff than pretty much anyone else in the league at the moment. I really do feel that we've got an extra gear that others may struggle to find. And I guess, Sheffield United were industry and work and at moments of brilliance against United, whereas we could counter that. We had Diaz and, we had that defensive line that doesn't concede goals. And maybe that's it, man. Maybe it's just built on this incredible defense. Maybe that's what we've got that other teams haven't got at the moment. That just absolute wall of a back line.
Now, there's been a lot of talk about those clean sheets and the influence that Ruben Diaz has had on this team. And we decided we need to sit down and talk to him and see how he's settling into life at Manchester City.
We're going to be talking about the start of your career as a Manchester City player. A little review, okay? It's been a short time, but lots has happened.
I was looking sharp.
Yeah, big day. So, going back to that day, what were your emotions? How were you feeling? You were looking very sharp, like the Portuguese James Bond.
I was just happy with coming here and finally having my opportunity. Yeah.
So the transfer itself, was it a short one for you? Was it a long one? How was the process?
I would say it was quite fast. Even when I was still at Portugal, it all happened quite fast and just coming, and then I just meet everyone and I play straight away, and then I go to national team again, and then I come back. I would consider it happening just fast.
Yeah. We had 6 clean sheets in a row, which is a club record, and you've helped to contribute to that, a big, huge part of that. Does that feel good to go down in history so quickly?
Obviously it feels good, but it's just a small step on the way of what I want to achieve in the club. I'm obviously happy, and obviously happy for my teammates as well, because it was obviously not just me and not just the defenders, obviously the midfielders as well and the attackers. But I think for the team that's an incredible achievement.
Ruben, you were looking very sharp when you were signing for us, so thank you for that, and thank you for all of your work in the defence, and hopefully not, he won't have to do too much tonight. We don't want him to have to work too hard, but I'm quite confident that he will. Burnley this evening, yes. Shaun, I want to talk to you a little bit about this, because you scored quite a few goals against Burnley, quite a few hat-tricks as well.
Beat the goal and he will score.
Exactly. We've got one lined up that I wanted to talk through and go over. Yes. What do you remember of playing against Burnley?
Oh, Burnley was my happy place. Huh? I had to drop that one in. Yes, listen, I enjoy it. As a striker, there's certain grounds and teams you play that you really enjoy. I think it was Edgehill that swung that one in. And just got in between defenders. Lovely contact, but it was a brilliant delivery. You had good pace, and it was really easy for me to just guide that one in. This was Tieto. Is that Tieto or Pierce? Tieto, yeah. This particular one, this is a striker's instinct. I've just felt this ball is actually going to come back out away, and you see I'm going in, then I sort of come back, and that's just an instinct. You can't teach that. You really can't.
And the third one, just quickly on this, Paulo one shot plays it through.
Yeah, lie down.
Look at that, man.
And then just nice little tap in.
Send him to the shops, didn't you?
Yeah, but loved it.
Oh, what a goal it was. And we heard from you here now. Let's hear from you after the game as well.
They have been a good team for me, because I always seem to score against them. You like to score hat-tricks, you like to score goals, period, but to get a hat-trick nice and early in the season was good, because it then set me into a nice little run in getting more goals.
Oh, look at that good-looking lad, eh? Talk about myself as a third person. You like to get on a good run of goals.
I've got to say, let's go through the team, all right, because what a team it was. Weaver, Dunn, Howie, Pearce, Edgill, Grant, Horlock, Tiato, Granville, Gota, One Chop.
Oh, so much fun, man. That was our childhood, isn't it? That literally is.
And the kit as
Shaun
well.
not even broken through yet, I don't think. Shaun was about to, wasn't he, that season, Shaun, right? I think. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, what a kit. Silver with the blue and the green stripes.
Yes. Love that kit as well. Brilliant.
That is, honestly, I'm not even like, that is my favourite ever Manchester
City
kit.
I'll give you that.
And obviously I remember Shaun bagging goals for fun in it.
I did have it, by the way, as well. I remember it was massive on me. One of those things like your parents, like, you'll grow into it kind of thing. And it was a good time though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
What a time.
The club's come so far. I always think this, and when you look at yourself there, did you ever believe genuinely that this club was going to become what it is now?
Well, we're global now, so no. No, listen, could not foresee that. I mean, those guys that we had some quality mixed with some real aggression, some grit, and I think, whereas today, we got all of those. We got determination, we got grit, we got quality, world-class quality, and that was a team that we had to sort of bide our time and go through that journey. But it played part of where we are.
Just think how many Shaun would score off the bench on this side. Honestly, it'd be ridiculous. You'd honestly score so many. You'd be so useful right now. Put your boots on, man.
Oh, imagine the assists coming through. Kevin De Bruyne to Shaun Gota.
Wonderful.
1 yard out.
Yeah.
Nice one, Kevin. Kevin De Bruyne.
That's all you've got to do. Right, I've put something out there, okay? I've said that it was the best ever kit, that silver one. Make sure you use that hashtag WNRH, all right? Because I want to hear from you. What was your favourite Manchester City kits over the years? Nothing tops that silver one for me. Right, let's make a bit of a U-turn. Let's talk about some incredible news, and what a week it's been for the women's team as well. A massive win over West Ham on Sunday, with Abby Dalkemper making her assured debut in that game as well. Plus, we've also had the news. The following day, we announced that Ellie Roebuck has signed a new 3-year deal with the club. One of the game's most exciting keepers, plays for her country as well. The Lionesses made some incredible stops and performances for Manchester City and has aided the club in challenging for silverware. Another 3 years of Ellie at the club. Shaun, that's a massive signing for City.
Yes, it is. I mean, there you see that one there, fingertips. I mentor kids, so sometimes I get the odd clips of looking at sort of the England FA and I've seen her in some highlights in some of the stuff training-wise. Absolutely brilliant. But we're seeing her, the hard work that she puts in from training, these bravery stops. Some are just brilliant in terms of, again, the one we saw, the fingertips. Absolutely brilliant. And also being a good goalkeeper in terms of being good with the feet. Here, I think that's one, stopping it with the foot. Absolutely brilliant. Making herself big. Absolutely tremendous. This is brilliant.
It is indeed. And another thing, she's from Sheffield. She does quite like Sheffield United, and she was very vocal when Sheffield United beat Manchester United. So that's the blue runs through her blood.
Yeah, honorary blue. Yeah, right. Good on Ellie. No, she's absolutely spot on. I mean, you love that, don't you? You love seeing the players obviously have that connection as well with the fans, and the contract is a just reward for incredible performance. And she's only so young as well, so much potential. What a keeper!
Indeed. Right, let's hear from Ellie Roebuck on what she had to say after signing that 3-year deal with Manchester City.
So Ellie, congratulations, a new contract. How does that feel?
Yeah, obviously I'm delighted. I'm kind of glad just to get it sorted now, so I can kind of feel where my future is, and obviously that's going to be at City for the next 3 years, which is exciting. I think it'll fly by, same as the past however many years has flown by, but yeah, it's something I'm really excited for, and obviously under a new manager and things like that, it's exciting times.
3-year deal as well, that's a strong commitment.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is a strong commitment. I think it works both ways. It shows the club have got good faith in me, which is nice. And obviously, City's the club I want to be at, and it's where I see me developing best, so it was a no-brainer.
So what were your first thoughts when you were thinking about signing a new deal?
To be honest with you, I just kind of wanted to get it done because it's one of them things that as a player you don't really want hanging over you, and obviously my deal was up in the summer, and with the new manager and everything, I think the continuity of the squad and the players that we brought in, it's so exciting and something that I just really want to be a part of. And like I say, I've developed so much over the past 5 years, I think it is, that the next 3 years is really excites me because I think every day is a different challenge.
Incredible news right there. Ellie Roebuck signing that extension onto her contract. Another 3 years at Manchester City. Right, with the City Group ever expanding their clubs and talent rosters worldwide, getting the right players to the right sides has never been more important. And tomorrow, a brand new City Plus exclusive series will be released exploring the CFG's worldwide scouting network. So we thought we've got to show a sneak peek of this fascinating watch.
Just a quick update on the Argentinian player.
Well, we're a little bit unusual in the sense of what we ask our scouts to do. As we know, our model is multi-clubs.
Difícil é olhar onde ninguém está olhando.
Soccer in the US is growing.
Will we find really good young Chinese talent? What we're trying to do is essentially uncover fundamental truths about the game. You can change somebody's life and give somebody the break that allows them to be on the pathway to hopefully superstardom.
Remember the day I told Pep to look at him. He saw him and said, "We do not need to wait any longer. Sign him."
What we're really looking for is players who have everything.
Make sure you do check that out on City Plus. It's incredible to see all of the work that goes on behind the scenes. I had no clue.
Little old City, man. Look at the size of the scouting network. No, it's, I guess you got no choice these days, really, don't you? You have to kind of keep up or you get left behind. And City's organisation, that kind of commitment to expansion around the world, it's just ridiculous. It's absolutely marvellous seeing the size of this scope now. And to be honest, once again, if City weren't doing it, Barcelona would be scouting in South America or Mumbai or wherever. So City have to be there. And I think they're genuinely breaking new grounds with this whole City football group thing. I honestly can't wait to watch that. I know Jenny looks fascinating.
Shaun, how exciting is it, the fact that this model is working across the world? You mentioned it before, global.
Yes, global. I mean, they never seem to amaze me. You know, the City group, City, the club, is absolutely brilliant. The network and how they go about things. I mean, normally, certainly when I was doing little bits in and around the club, it was hearing sort of them using the sort of SPIT acronym, which stood for Speed, Technique, Intelligence. Get it right now. Speed, Personality, Intelligence, and Technique. And so those were the sort of four bases of when it came to, and what interested me was the personality. So just looking at a personality, if you don't have the right personality, you're not a good fit for the team. So you could have all the others, but again, and if I just to give an example, we know someone like Paul Pogba, yeah? He wouldn't be a Pep fit. With all his ability, he wouldn't be a Pep fit. So he'd have the ability, et cetera, but wouldn't be a fit. So it'd be somebody that they wouldn't go for. But again, the club is global. They don't seem to amaze me in how they go and recruit and scout players. It's just absolutely brilliant. And believe me, I'm tuning in to City Plus because that is some good stuff there.
How fascinating is it, Stephen, the fact that this club is doing this for youngsters around the world, for you as a City fan?
It's, once again, it's crazy because it feels like only yesterday when we were this kind of very local-centric club, and all of a sudden we've kind of expanded so quickly. I mean, it's fascinating, and to be honest, that's the thing that fulfills me with confidence more than anything. You can tell, once again, the Bond reference, the world is not enough for Manchester City. You can tell they want everything, you know, they want to be the best everywhere, but it's that intense desire that comes, obviously, from the top, from the likes of Fran Soriano and Cheeky Briggenstein, and of course our chairman. You can tell that they aren't just content with dominating England. They want to dominate the world, and that can only be good for this glorious club, Manchester City. It can only be good for us that we're expanding our horizons so broadly. But I absolutely love that attention to detail and that thoroughness that you can tell it permeates for everything that Manchester City do these days, and it's why some people are happy just to win the league. Well, we want to win the league everywhere around the world. It's crazy, but that's modern football, and we are genuine trailblazers with this. So it's weird that it's our club we're talking about, but I love it.
Right, I've been asking you guys to get in touch using that hashtag WNRH, and you've been doing just that, sending in your favourite kits, all right? City fan 123, or Matthew, as he's known, he says, hashtag WNRH, my favourite City strip is the black and red stripes of 2011-12, and then he's got another tweet later on as well, showing the actual kit that he means. Very, very nice kit right there. Then Marwan, who's interestingly got a Burnley crest as his profile picture. You know, fair dues. He's watching the show. Welcome. He says 2014 away kit. So he must be a City fan just using the Burnley crest. Who knew? And then we've got the actual picture from Matthew there then of the kit. I mean, so even looking at that one.
Beautiful. I also give Aguero in that. It's absolutely a stunner, isn't it? A genuine stunner.
Isn't it funny how you just associate certain players with certain kits? Then another one, Gethin has tweeted us saying, favourite kit, first kit, the black collar Umbro. I mean, they were the days. Back then, I found one of my first kits, which was actually black and red from 96, I think it was. That was one of my first kits, yeah. The kit that was born purple with white stripes. That was
my first shirt.
Really?
Gorgeous shirt. Yeah, the away one with the stripes. Yeah, I absolutely love that kit. There's photos of me just running around wearing it. I remember being gutted. One of my earliest memories is being gutted that I grew out of it. Because eventually you're like, I can't wear it anymore. And I remember being really upset, but I had all the crazy goalkeeper kits from the 90s as well. And I had like Tony Coton and Andy Dibble and everyone signing them, and like Ike Immel and stuff like that. Because I was a keeper, which meant you had massive padded shirts, and they were just a state back then. They were brilliant though.
What happened to padded shirts?
I know, they were brilliant, man. Bring them back.
We've forgotten all about those. Make sure you do get in touch, all right? We want to hear from you. Use that hashtag WNRH. Let us know your favourite kits. If you've got any pictures, send them as well. Shaun, favourite kit that you can remember from Manchester City? Have you got one?
Well, I like the Eidos one. The colours of it, and had a little bit of that the white going on the side.
Yeah,
I really like that. And that was one of my favourite ones.
What I love about that was the following season, they they changed just the sponsor, but the entire shirt stayed the exact same, but just the sponsor changed on the front, and that was the only change. Gosh, back when the shirts were much simpler. But not going to lie, I've just noticed we've both got our shirts on here.
Classy shirts.
Home and away. I love these shirts.
I only wore that today. It would have been awkward because,
No, we would have,
sat together like that. I mean.
Both look great on it, all right. We both look great. Right. We always ask for people to get in touch from our official supporters clubs, all right. We like to give you a shout out. And this week, we thought we've got a shout out one that's quite local to us, the Chester and District Official Supporters Club. And hopefully soon, hopefully one day, we'll be able to pop down for a brew and meet our mate, Robert Allen.
Hi, I'm Rob and I'm from Chester and District Branch. Originally I'm from Burnley in South Manchester, but I moved to Chester as a teenager. Chester and District was first set up in 1976 and one of our founding members, Nigel, is actually our current vice chairman. Chester and District meet every first Monday of the month, bar when City are playing, at the unfortunately named United Services Club. And an interesting fact about Chester and District is the fact we've actually got members from two countries, owing to the fact that Chester is only 2 miles from the Welsh border. Interesting fact also, for me personally, this one, my wife said to me it was obviously going to be Manchester City or the kids. Well, I thought, no, there's got to be a third option. Here's Connor and Lucas, my two children, as you can see, wearing their City tops with pride. Probably the best thing about being a City fan is just the rollercoaster ride it's been over the years. I always remember in 2012, Lucas, being 6 at the time, said, I want to go home in the 90th minute. And I don't know what it was. I said, no, we're staying. And boy, are we glad we did. And also, Connor and me were extras in Blue Moon Rising. And with that, it's back to the studio.
Cheers, Rob. Thank you for that. What a transition as well. Just into the kids being there.
You're out of a job, pal, unfortunately.
That is it. That is it. Honestly, guys, we can't wait until we can see you. We can have you back here at the Etihad as well. Hopefully, that will be very, very soon. But thank you to all of our official supporters clubs. Honestly, the support all around the world means so much to us here in Manchester. Right, it's nearly time for one of my favourite parts of the show, the predictions. But before we get into that, all right, something that we also do every single week, it is Guess the Blue, all right? We have a mystery blue that we don't like to tell you who it is. We don't really like to give you any clues anymore. We just like to see if you can guess who you think this is, all right? So if you do think you can decipher who the mystery blue is, make sure you do use the hashtag WNRH, all right? Make sure you let us know who you think this is. We've got a little screen here and we're all looking at it. I was very confused, I'm not going to lie. I'm being told in my ear nobody is going to get it. So if you're at home and you're thinking you know exactly who this is, do get in touch. Use that hashtag WNRH. We want to hear from you. Stephen, any thoughts about who it could be?
My early guess, but I'm doubting myself, is Stephen Ireland, but I might be wrong there.
Okay. The hair? There was, I mean,
you look like there's a bit where it was starting to go.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Sure.
His name's left me, but he used to play also for Liverpool.
Okay. See, I think I was also thinking of who that person as well. I think. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to say who I think it is.
Yeah. Who is that you're referring to? And I can't think of who you're referring to.
Midfielder, German.
Oh,
His
yes. His
name's, it'll come to me.
I know you're on about now. Defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I know. All right, we're not going to put out who it is. If you do think
that's my guess.
You know, then do get in touch with us. All right, make sure you use that hashtag WNRH. Right, we're 8 minutes away from kickoff. All right, and that means that we've got to predict who our scores are going to be. So, Stephen, I'm going to come to you first because Shaun, you've got a bit of a change of clothes, haven't you? You've got props for us. So, Stephen, I'll come to you. We'll keep this all a bit of a secret, all smoke and mirrors right here. Manchester City taking on Burnley this evening. Shaun Dyche's Burnley. Turf Moor, a happy place for lots of people. What score are you going for?
I'm going to go for Probably like 2-0, I reckon. I'll say 2-0. Gabi to score and maybe Bernardo. I'm going to go 2-0. A difficult game, but just enough in the end just to get the victory. Come on, City.
Okay, come on, City. Indeed, I like that confidence. Shaun.
Yeah, listen.
You've got your shirt. What shirt is that?
Listen, this is my Hawaii 5-0 shirt. There's the giveaway. Hey, listen, how I've been playing against Burnley, I'm going 5-0. So there you go.
Are you not going to put it? It doesn't fit. Oh gosh. Oh, Shaun. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I put on some muscle.
5-0 for you, 2-0 for you, Stephen, as well. I'm going to sit not just in the middle because we can't do it a 3.5. I'm going to say 4-0 to Manchester City right there. I mean, coming up against...
be across. Just say 5. You're 4-0.
No, I mean, I don't know. I might say 7. No. I'm going to say...
After last night, I mean, that wouldn't be surprising, would it?
Let's not talk about that anyway. 4-0 Manchester City. That is what I'm going to go for. I'm quite confident with this. I mean, we're looking at the players. They're heading out. Difficult place. We talked about it being a compact ground, Shaun. It's not going to be an easy game. I know we've said 2, 4 and 5. Sean Dyche is going to want to limit that.
Yes, he is, because, we were talking a bit earlier and I'm saying that Sean Dyche would be in the dressing room and he would have said, listen, I'm tired and I'm done with losing big margins to Man City. We need to go out there and get stuck in and make this a very difficult game. And when we get the chance or 2 chances, we need to take them. That'll be the team talk to Sean Dyche. And I think if I'm a player, I'm going to sit there and think, when are we going to put this to an end? So I think Burnley will be up for this. It'll be difficult, but initially City have to get through that period. And once they break through and get there first, we can see more goals.
Quick reminder of the teams: Ederson, João Cancelo, John Stones, Ruben Diaz, Aymeric Laporte, Rodrigo, Ilkay Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. For Burnley, it's Pope, Loughton, James Tarkowski as well, Eric Peters, Ben Mee, Goodmanson, Ashley Westwood, Dwight McNeil, Jack Cork, Jay Rodriguez and Vidra. That is the team taking on Manchester City this evening. Right, we are getting closer and closer to kick-off. Manchester City taking on Burnley. Top of the table. Pep Guardiola is hoping to stay there. Make sure you stick around with us. We will be back at half-time to give our first half analysis, plus at full-time as well. But for now, we'll leave you in the capable hands of Alistair Mann. See you at half-time.
That is a rocket from Rodrigo. Danilo, brilliant. And a play on. It must be 3. It is Ferran Torres.